Madame Hannah staggered. The tray of jollof rice and chicken she was carrying shattered on the floor. Her palm pressed to her cheek, eyes wet and wide. "Get out of my way," Agnes snapped, breath hot with anger. "You slow old woman. If you can't keep up, go somewhere. Your laziness is welcome." At that exact moment, the glass door swung open. A tall man in a navy suit stepped in, followed by a younger assistant. The man's name was Benjamin Raymond, CEO of Raymond Holdings, one of the biggest companies in Lagos. He froze in the doorway. He had seen the slap. The room went still for one long second. Nobody moved. Then, Madame Hannah's lip trembled. Her eyes drifted to the floor as if she wished the ground would just open and hide her. She was 65, slim and small, her dark skin glowing under the lights, wearing a clean but worn uniform. Her back was straight out of habit, but her heart was tired. People called her names she never deserved: bad luck, trouble. They never asked about her story. They never knew about the 2 daughters she had loved with her whole life, both gone in a road accident on the same day, on their way to see her. Benjamin stepped forward. "Madam," he said to Agnes, voice calm but hard. "Why did you hit her?" Agnes folded her arms. She wore high heels that clicked like sharp words, her ebony skin flushed with rage. "Because I run this place. She is slow. Customers are waiting. If she wants pity, she should not work here." The room stirred. A few people looked down. Some looked away. One man whispered, "That's too much." Another said, "She's old, but she's fast. I saw her." Agnes snorted. "And who are you to judge? If you're that kind, take her home." Benjamin's jaw tightened. He turned to Madame Hannah. "Are you hurt? Do you want to sit?" Her hand was still on her cheek. She blinked as if waking from a bad dream. When she looked up at him, something in his face tugged at the oldest part of her memory. The part that still heard a little boy's laugh in a big house with white walls and a blue pool. He bent a little kinder now. "Ma, it's okay." Her gaze sharpened. Lines of worry around her eyes softened. "Your eyes," she whispered as if talking to herself. "Those eyes. I once watched those eyes learn to swim." A hush fell over the restaurant. Benjamin leaned closer. "What did you say?" She swallowed. "Benjamin," the assistant's head snapped up. Agnes scoffed. "You know him. That's Rich." Benjamin's mouth parted. For a heartbeat, the busy CEO was gone, and a stunned boy stood in his place. "Madame Hannah," he said, voice rough with surprise. "Is it you?" At the sound of her name, ears broke open like a flood. She saw a little boy again, thin legs kicking in shallow water, tiny hands waving. A nanny's skirt soaked as she jumped in to pull him out. She saw the boy's mother, Mrs. Sandra, pressing a soft towel to his shoulders. She saw the father, Chief Raymond, laughing with relief. "Hannah, you saved my only child." Her fingers trembled. She nodded. "It's me." Gasps rose across the room. Phones appeared in hands. Even Agnes blinked twice. Benjamin turned slowly to the owner. The warmth left his face. "You hit the woman who raised me," he said quietly. Agnes rolled her eyes, but it was shaky now. "So what? Are you going to buy her a trophy for being slow?" Benjamin faced his assistant, Chuka. "Yes, sir. Wait by the door. No one touches her." "Yes, sir." Then Benjamin crouched in front of Madame Hannah so that he was looking up at her. "Please forgive what you just suffered here," he said. "You are not staying one more minute in this place." Her mouth fell open. "I can't just leave." "You can," he said gently. "You will come with me." Agnes burst out laughing, but it sounded like a tin can kicked down a road. "Take her if you want. She's been nothing but trouble for me since the day I hired her. People said she's a witch. I still gave her work, but pity has limits." The word burned the air, which the same word people had thrown at Madame Hannah after her daughters died. They never understood grief. They never understood a mother standing alone in a room where 2 beds were empty forever. Benjamin stood and turned fully to Agnes. "I don't care what people called her," he said. "You are not allowed to hit an elderly woman. Ever." Agnes squared her shoulders. "And if I refuse to let her go?" She signed to work a full month. "She owes me hours." "She doesn't owe you pain," he said. "How much is her salary?" Agnes folded her arms tighter. 100,000 naira a month, and she broke 2 plates last week. A waiter near the counter shook his head. "They slipped because the tray is bent." Agnes shot him a glare that could cut glass. "Keep quiet." Benjamin took out his wallet and placed a card on the counter. "Send your account number to this email," he told her flatly. "You'll receive payment for 3 months. Consider it notice." "She's leaving now." Agnes opened and closed her mouth. Money always made her brave, but this time it made her careful. "Fine," she said at last, voice sharp. "Take your old nanny, but don't bring drama back to my business." Benjamin ignored her. He turned to Madame Hannah again, and everything about him softened. "Ma, do you have a bag?" She nodded slowly. "In the back." "Please get it," he said. "I'll walk you to the car." She took a small breath and stood. Her steps were steady but light, as if her feet were learning hope again. People watched her pass. Some looked sorry, some looked ashamed. One woman whispered, "God bless you, Ma." In the staff room, Madame Hannah took off the uniform top and folded it with care. Underneath, she wore a clean Ancora blouse. She placed the uniform on a chair, then picked up a small bag, faded but neat. For a second, she looked at the mirror and saw not a witch, not a problem, but a woman who had given love and received pain, yet still stood. When she came out, Benjamin was waiting in the hall. He offered his arm. She took it. They walked toward the door while the assistant held it open. Sunshine spilled in like a promise. They were one step from the car when Agnes's voice sliced across the parking lot. "Wait." Benjamin turned. Madame Hannah flinched. Agnes stood in the doorway with a thin smile that didn't reach her eyes. She held up a piece of paper and shook it like a flag. "Before you go," she said, "you should know something. Your sweet nanny didn't tell you the full story." Benjamin's face went still. "What story?" Agnes wagged the paper. "This is a police report I filed this morning about a missing envelope from the till. It disappeared during her shift. CCTV has a shadow and a hand. Guess whose hand it looks like?" All the air seemed to lean in. The assistant stiffened. A waiter gasped. Madame Hannah's bag slipped a little in her fingers. Benjamin took one slow step forward, eyes locked on Agnes. "Are you accusing her of theft?" Agnes smiled wider. "I'm not accusing, I'm proving. And the police station is on its way to collect her." Sirens wailed, faint and far, growing louder. Benjamin glanced at Madame Hannah. Her eyes were full, not of fear, but of a pain that looked older than the city itself. He squeezed her hand. "Ma," he said softly, "tell me the truth." Madame Hannah lifted her chin. Her voice was steady. "I did not take anything." The sirens turned into flashing red and blue at the gate. Benjamin inhaled once, long and slow, then faced the oncoming lights. "Everyone," he said, voice like steel. "Stay exactly where you are." The cars pulled in and doors opened, and the scene froze on the edge of the next breath. The police lights flashed red and blue across the restaurant windows, painting Madame Hannah's trembling hands in streaks of color. The crowd whispered. Some leaned closer, hoping to see a scandal. Others, feeling guilty for ever mocking her, quietly backed away. Benjamin's eyes didn't leave Agnes. "You called the police for an old woman because of a missing envelope." Agnes lifted her chin. "I follow the law, Mr. CO. It's not personal," but her smirk said otherwise. Two officers stepped in. One was a tall, tired-looking man with kind eyes. The other, a younger officer carrying a notepad. "Who is the complainant?" the older one asked. Agnes rushed forward. "That's me, officer. I run this restaurant. The CCTV camera shows someone's hand near the till during this woman's shift. Money disappeared. I want it investigated properly." The younger officer glanced at Madame Hannah, whose head was bowed. "Madam, is this true?" Benjamin stepped between them. "You'll speak to me first. This woman is under my protection." The officers hesitated. They recognized him, the Benjamin Raymond, son of the late Chief Raymond. One of them straightened immediately. "Sir, we're only following procedure." Benjamin nodded once. "Then follow it correctly. Where's your evidence?" Agnes held out her phone. The video played. A dim image of the counter, a shadow moving across it. The figure was short, slightly bent like Hannah. Her hand reached toward a drawer. The screen went black. "There," Agnes said triumphantly. "That's her." Benjamin took the phone, replayed it, and frowned. "You call this proof? The camera's blurred." "That could be anyone." "It's her," Agnes insisted. "I've managed restaurants for 10 years. I can tell." Benjamin handed the phone back without looking at her. "You can tell, or you just want to destroy her." Agnes's smirk faltered for a second. This isn't what it looks like," she stammered. Benjamin leaned forward. "Then explain it." Her voice broke. "I was just moving the envelope. I meant to put it in the drawer for 2 days." Benjamin asked coldly, "Because that's how long the money was missing before you filed your fake report." The room fell dead silent. Even the hum of the air conditioner seemed to stop. Benjamin straightened his suit. "You assaulted an elderly woman, lied about her, and tried to destroy her reputation. And now everyone in this restaurant knows it." Agnes looked around at her star faces she used to terrify, now staring at her in disbelief. "You're all witnesses," Benjamin said to them. "You saw what she did. You heard her admit it." A waiter spoke up quietly. "Sir, we did. Madame Hannah never took anything. She was always kind to all of us." Benjamin turned to Agnes one last time. "You owe her a public apology." Agnes scoffed through trembling lips. "Never. Then I'll make sure every investor, every partner, and every restaurant group in Lagos sees this footage. You'll never work again." The words hit like thunder. Agnes' pride cracked. Tears welled up in her eyes as she turned toward Madame Hannah. I'm sorry," she whispered, voice breaking. "Please forgive me." Madame Hannah blinked through her tears. "Forgiveness doesn't erase pain," she said softly, "but it frees the heart that gives it. I forgive you." Her voice was gentle, but her dignity filled the room like sunlight. Benjamin placed a hand on her shoulder. "Let's go, Mama." As they turned to leave, the crowd stepped aside respectfully. Someone clapped quietly. The drive to the restaurant was silent, heavy with unease. The sun was setting, painting the Lagos skyline in shades of orange and violet. But inside Benjamin's SUV, the air was thick with tension. Madame Hannah sat in the back, clutching her shawl, while Olivia stared out the window, brows furrowed. When they arrived at the restaurant parking lot, it was already buzzing. A small crowd had gathered outside, phones raised, whispering about the viral video. Someone even shouted, "That's the old woman." As Benjamin helped Madame Hannah out of the car, Chuka pushed through the crowd, clearing the way. Benjamin walked straight in, ignoring the murmurs. The same restaurant that had once humiliated Hannah now looked smaller under the weight of his presence. Agnes was behind the counter, face lit with false confidence. "Well, look who's back," she said. "I see your rescue mission didn't stop the internet." Benjamin's expression didn't change. "You're trending for the wrong reasons, Agnes, and you seem too proud to notice." Agnes smirked. "I only posted the truth. I have every right to defend my name." Benjamin stepped closer. "Defend your name by destroying someone else's?" She shrugged. "That woman's story is all over the place. You think people don't remember her? The one whose daughters died. The one everyone said was cursed." The word cursed hit Madame Hannah like a stone. She gasped quietly, tears forming. Benjamin's voice hardened. "You're not just cruel, you're reckless. Do you have any proof she stole anything?" Agnes's smirk faltered for a second. "The video proves nothing." Benjamin cut in sharply. "In fact, I had my tech team enhance the footage overnight." He nodded to Chuka, who immediately opened the tablet and placed it on the counter. The enhanced video played in slow motion. The restaurant's security feed was clearer now, every detail visible. The shadowy figure bent near the counter, but as the light flickered, the hand that reached for the envelope had red nail polish. Madame Hannah's hands, visible in the corner of the same frame, were bare and wrinkled. A gasp rippled through the onlookers. Benjamin turned the screen toward Agnes. "You have red nails, don't you?" Agnes's breath caught. She instinctively pulled her hand to her side, but the crimson color betrayed her. This isn't what it looks like," she stammered. Benjamin leaned forward. "Then explain it." Her voice broke. "I was just moving the envelope. I meant to put it in the drawer for 2 days." Benjamin asked coldly. "Because that's how long the money was missing before you filed your fake report." The room fell dead silent. Even the hum of the air conditioner seemed to stop. Benjamin straightened his suit. "You assaulted an elderly woman, lied about her, and tried to destroy her reputation. And now everyone in this restaurant knows it." Agnes looked around at her star faces she used to terrify now, staring at her in disbelief. "You're all witnesses," Benjamin said to them. "You saw what she did. You heard her admit it." A waiter spoke up quietly. "Sir, we did. Madame Hannah never took anything. She was always kind to all of us." Benjamin turned to Agnes one last time. "You owe her a public apology." Agnes scoffed through trembling lips. "Never. Then I'll make sure every investor, every partner, and every restaurant group in Lagos sees this footage. You'll never work again." The words hit like thunder. Agnes' pride cracked. Tears welled up in her eyes as she turned toward Madame Hannah. I'm sorry," she whispered, voice breaking. "Please forgive me." Madame Hannah blinked through her tears. "Forgiveness doesn't erase pain," she said softly, "but it frees the heart that gives it. I forgive you."